All righty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Las Vegas Raiders. And why are the Las Vegas Raiders 0-16? Because they suck. They won a Super Bowl since 1983. You haven't won a Super Bowl in 40 years. Las Vegas Raiders. They do. They really suck. Man, this so cracks me up every time. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If anybody's going to spend time watching the replay this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to find a way to throw it in the chat box. Usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. But post also serious. I mean, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So once again, please feel free, fire away with the comments. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it will mean the absolute world to me. Description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, unfortunately. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, also just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link. I'll go over that in just a second. The one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart. I can't stand change. I like things just like the way they are. I'm one of them old-time farts. Get off my lawn! Old-time kind of farts, right? The link underneath it, it's a Twitter link. It'll always be Twitter to me. It's always been Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants me to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. It's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related information in my Twitter account every day. And then also, finally, the link on top of it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. A very original name, I know, basically, because it's the same name as my YouTube channel, and I couldn't think of anything else to call it. So it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. We have over 8,200 members in this group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members post stuff in this group as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Well, I guess maybe kind of now we kind of have a little bit, maybe a little more of an inkling what was kind of running through the mind of Darren Waller. Maybe it wasn't football issue related 100%. Maybe it was 50% football, 50% you're going to get divorced. That's a possibility. Maybe there's stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, once again, these people that get married, these millionaires get married to high pro. Hey, you're pretty cute. Hey, you're pretty cute too. And they get married, and like a year later they're divorced. I mean, I ain't got time for that kind of. So yeah. I can't even. Sometimes I can't even talk about that kind of crap. It just drives me freaking bananas. I'm happily married for 37 years. You know what I mean? So. I don't know. They've made more. They'll make more money in 1 year than me and my wife have in our entire lifetime. That's our problem. I understand, but so I have no idea what the But so apparently there's a little more than just a football issue going on, I guess, in Darren Wallace. I don't know if he's spending these past couple months trying to work things out, not work things out. I'm not, whatever. Who knows? But maybe so. Maybe it's just him trying to take some time off to think if he wants to do it again and go through it. Maybe it has a little issue to do with his marriage or lack thereof now, shall we say. So basically his marriage lasted 1 year. All right. It's so as I said, I guess now we know maybe what some of his problem is here. And I got a couple of articles here. Kelsey Plum and Giants star Darren Waller divorcing after a grand total of 1 year marriage. It's over for Kelsey Plum and Darren Waller. Turn out the lights. The party's over. A joint petition for a divorce was filed for the couple in Clark County District Court in Las Vegas on Tuesday. Plum, who wed the Giants tight end in March of 2023, suggested their marriage was over in a heartbreaking post shared Tuesday on her social media pages. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I guess they don't have any children. There's no, I don't think. I don't know. I mean, they got money coming out the yin yang. Two, she's absolutely stunningly beautiful. He's a handsome freaking stud. I mean, what is your problem? I mean, what is your problem? I mean, it just kind of makes me think that one of them or both of them would have some issues up in the brain up there. I mean, something's not right up there. I mean, as I said, really, there's something wrong with both of them or one of them or something like that. I mean, you got, I don't want to say more money than God, but you got both of you guys fame. I said she is simply beautiful. He is a handsome freaking dude. I mean, they got the whole world at their feet, and you can't stay married for more than a year. Are you serious? So I mean, that makes me think once again that there's something wrong with one of them, or I mean, I know he's had some. I can't remember if it was substance abuse or drug or drinking or something. He had his issue. And he's trying to, calm those demons down or something. And he's been pretty much on the straight and narrow, so good for him. That's freaking awesome. I know I can't say from experience, but, just hearing it, it's a very difficult thing to do. So maybe he's has some demons or something that's causing him some issues. Who knows? But I mean, my goodness. I mean, those two people together, they can't, I mean, why? I mean, what did you think it was going to work out in the first place? I mean, if you can't stay married for more than, I think it's 13 months now. I mean, you got issues. I mean, really got some freaking issues. I mean, but anyway. Let's see here. She said, I'm devastated the star Las Vegas Aces point guard began. I walked through the fire for that man, but now I see it's time to go. God has given me such an incredible life, and I'm truly so grateful for the profound love from my family and friends. One day I'll share my story. Today is not that day. The post from Plum, who's 29, comes amid mounting speculation about the state of her union with Waller. Let's see here. Waller, who is 31, raised some eyebrows earlier this year when he posted a TikTok video. Once again, it's the stuff that, once again, social media can be a very good friend. Social media can be absolutely wonderful, but it can be also one of your worst enemies too, and unfortunately, more often than not, most of the time, these star athletes and stuff that take to social media, it's just like a joke. It's like, it's like basically like, children, or, posting stuff on. I mean, it really is a joke, really absolute joke. So Waller raised some eyebrows. I don't follow him on TikTok. I have no idea what he puts on there, but apparently he posted on TikTok video that featured him dancing and mouthing the lyrics to a remix of the Delphonics song "Think It Over." So I guess something was happening, and he was mouthing the words to Plum. They're I guess had an issue, and he was singing the song "Think It Over." The text included in the clip read, "When your girl bout to leave you." It's just comical to me. Waller addressed the video in a January interview with TMZ, telling the outlet he was just joking around. Yeah, I don't think so. Months prior, Waller supported Plum during the Aces 2023 championship run. Plum, who was readying for the 2024 WNBA season, concluded Tuesday post by expressing gratitude for the grace to process my pain, to forgive and move forward. Today and every day, I will continue to choose joy. Much love, KP. Philippians 1.6, she wrote. Waller was traded to the Giants. He's currently weighing whether to retire or not. Waller shared an Instagram post on his off-season travels Monday with the caption, "Peace of mind is not a destination to reach. It's a state of mind to embrace." Okay. Yeah. I got this other one. It's from ABC. Plum and Waller are calling it quits after 1 year of marriage. The Las Vegas Aces star and the Giants tight end filed for divorce in a joint petition on Tuesday, according to a court docket reviewed by ABC News. On the same day, Plum also posted a note on her Instagram story regarding the news, writing that she was devastated. "I walked through fire for that man. It's time to see," she continued. "God has given me an incredible life, and I'm truly so grateful for the profound love from my family and friends." In the message, she noted, "One day I'll share my story. Thank you for the grace to process my pain and forgive me and move forward." You already got that. Let's see. Plum began dating Waller when he was playing for the Raiders. The pair were married in March of 2023. Waller has not commented publicly on the split. Waller, who was previously named a 2021 Pro Bowler, is reportedly still deciding whether to play the Giants this upcoming season. Still waiting. And, of course, Plum was the first overall pick in the 2017 WNBA draft, won a gold medal in 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, and is a two-time WNBA champion. As I said, it's just, once again, I don't know how long they were dating for, this, that, and the other. The one thing is, it is kind of tough because, that I guess, thankfully, they don't have children together. So that's a good thing. Because you don't want to see that, the family being, the mother and the father being broken up, split apart if there's children involved. So thankfully for that. I said, but I don't know how long they were going out with one another. It is rather difficult because it's not so, it's so much. It's like, if she's out, doing her thing and he's out there doing it, it takes a lot of time. And one thing Waller was talking about, I'm not sure if I want to go through the grind and all. And it's not like you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you leave to go to work at 7, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're home. Sometimes it's not that easy. If he's with the Giants, if they got to go out to Seattle, they're leaving Seattle on Friday, maybe to get there Saturday. He comes home maybe Monday morning. They might have off Monday, but then it's back to the grind Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it's long days. It's a long season. Obviously last season, maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe they were split apart. Maybe he's out here in Jersey or wherever he's at. I don't know if it's Jersey, New York, whatever. But she's out there. Maybe that caused some problems. Who knows? But at least now we know quite possibly that some of this stuff might have been weighing on Darren's mind, whether it's whether to play the season or not. Do I want to, maybe things are not going well back at home in Las Vegas. And maybe I should, I don't know, maybe think about not playing and just stay at home with her. Maybe we can patch stuff up. I want to say, who the heck knows? I don't know. But maybe that was some of the problem. Maybe that was some of the issue. Maybe it wasn't this. Well, do I want to go through the grind? Maybe it wasn't 100% that. Maybe it was some of it was the grind, but as I said, also some of it was maybe maybe I should just retire and go move back home and stay with her and try to fix the marriage. So who knows? Once again, we're probably never going to know. But so maybe maybe we'll get an answer from Darren Waller sooner than later. I mean, who knows? Or then again, maybe now maybe with this, who knows? Now maybe they're divorced and now he just needs time to think or be on his own, collect his thoughts or something. Who knows? So it could be soon, could be another month or two. I mean, who knows? I mean, it would be nice. I mean, really to tell the Giants, you're what you're kind of thinking, how you're leaning or whatever, before the draft starts. That would be nice because, I mean, if they brought in, I think a guy's name Sinat or whatever from K-State, might be like a third round pick. I don't know if they drafted tight end in the second round, but maybe I don't even know if the guy would even be there in the third round. But I mean, if they're looking to draft maybe a receiving tight end, a receiving threat of a tight end or something like that, maybe third or fourth round, it would be nice to know. I mean, you don't want to go out and draft a tight end in the third round or something like that, a receiving tight end. Then you got Bellinger, a receiving tight end, maybe Sinat or Sinnott, whatever his name, however you pronounce his name. And then Waller's like, yeah, I think I'll play. So then you got Cager and, Stahl or whatever, Manhurts, and then you got Adoree Jackson, and you got Bellinger, and you got Waller, and we have 7 tight ends on. It's like, So hopefully we'll find out sooner or later. But unfortunately, I mean that the Waller getting divorced might have been some of his issue. Once again, you don't know if you're ever going to find out or not, but that quite possibly. Then I got another thing here. Draft rumors, shocking. Another article has draft rumors. Man, I can't wait for this. I just can't wait for this draft to be here, and then the mocks and these stupid draft rumors will be all over with. I can't wait until next season. But so we still got to put up with these draft rumors. The Giants ownership reluctant to trade up for a quarterback after paying Daniel Jones. So Mara might be a little reluctant, maybe to trade up. So we'll have to wait and see. Because like with say a Saquon or somebody like that, fan favorites, or they took Daniel Jones number 6. They've never really given him a good supporting cast, which is true. I mean, but then it goes both ways, right? Things are never always going to be 100% roses and sunshine, or sunshine and roses, or however Sylvester Stallone says it is. So there's always going to be some rocking, time, always. You know what I mean? And very rarely is everything going to be perfect. You're going to get the snap from center. You're going to get that perfect, protection. You can stand tall in the pocket, and you can stand back there for an hour and a half because you got great protection. You got 3 number 1 wide receivers running around out there. You're just ready to gun it to whoever gets open first. You find, bam, you throw it. The guy catches the ball. He runs for it. And it's not, it's going to happen. I mean? It's kind of like fairy tale kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But also, to be fair to Daniel Jones, we don't have a number 1 wide receiver. Never had a number 1 wide receiver. Our best weapon has always been our running back. We've had usually an absolutely horrible offensive line. So, but you do know that Mr. Mara, likes Daniel Jones. I mean, the one thing you can certainly say about Daniel Jones, whether you like him or not or whatever, the guy is a hard worker. Doesn't always pan out. Doesn't always pan out to the field. Well, he's a hard worker, so that's why he's so great on it. No, it doesn't always pan out. I could be a hard worker. I could be in the Giants training facility 23 hours a day. Doesn't mean I'll ever complete a pass in the NFL. I mean, so that doesn't always translate. But he's very good with the media, right? He's very good. I mean, obviously all the negativity he's gotten. So he's like Eli Manning 2, the clone of Eli, right? Very hard worker. he does as much as he can to get better and all of that. Just not really panning out. But so Mr. Mara, is I guess maybe a little reluctant for us to maybe. I guess I don't know. But it says in this article here from CBS Sports. So in recent weeks, almost all of the NFL draft speculation has surrounded which quarterbacks will be selected. Yeah, that's pretty fair. And in which order? After Caleb Williams goes number 1 to the Bears. The Commanders are expected to take a quarterback at number 2. We don't know who that might be. Is that going to be May? Is it going to be Daniels? Or is McCarthy just going to blow us out of the water at number 2? Ooh, that would be surprising. And while the New England Patriots are also in the market for a quarterback at 3, they are open for offers. The Patriots are open for offers now. Of course, apparently they're going to want. They got the Brinks truck. They're going to back it up to the Giants' front office. They're going to open up the back of it, and the Giants are going to have to shovel in like 13 or 14 first-round picks to move up three spots, according to stuff I'm hearing. So they want an all-time haul for the Giants to move up from 6 to 3. Where what it cost the Jets, back in 2018 to go from 6 to 3, all right, just cost them 3 second rounders. Apparently, their pick 6 and 3 second rounders. Apparently, the Patriots want more than that. So, let's see. Then, of course, we got the Cardinals pick at number 4. They're not picking a quarterback. They got Kyler Murray, but I'm sure they're open for business, right? One of those rumored teams has been the Giants. General Manager Joe Schoen acknowledged as much earlier this month, even while maintaining that the team could go in a different direction. Giants currently have the number 6 overall pick and would probably have to move up to land whichever of Jaden Daniels, Drake May, or J.J. McCarthy is available at number 3 or 4. According to The Athletic, though, Giants ownership could be reluctant to make that move after the team paid Daniel Jones with a 4-year, $160 million contract last offseason, says via Diana Rossini. General Manager Joe Schoen did not draft Daniel Jones, but he did give him the contract extension last year. That was a time when I was digging on trying to find out if they were willing to trade up. There have been some mocks out there that had the Giants moving up to get a quarterback. It was explained to me that that was just a really tough sell to ownership after giving Daniel Jones that contract last year, that we're going to now give up assets to replace a quarterback they were paying $40 million. I think there's a really small chance that they do that. I think there's a better chance that they trade out for more picks. This obviously is not good team building process. It's called the sunk cost fallacy, where you feel like you have to double down on a previous move because it cost you a lot to make that move. Jones is set at the franchise Giants book for $47.9 million in 2024 and a $41.6 million in 2025. But the Giants can trim $19.4 million from that 2025 number by releasing Jones after the season, or $30.5 million by designating him as a post-June 1st release next year. Getting onto a rookie contract timeline would allow the Giants to better build out their roster. Yes, it would. And with as many needs as they have at the moment, it might be a good idea. If ownership doesn't want to go in that direction, though, it's unlikely to happen. That makes it especially notable that earlier this offseason, owner John Mara expressed a lot of confidence in Jones. I still have a lot of confidence in Daniel, Mara said, per NFL media. I think the Daniel that we saw in 22 is the real deal. Last year, he was hurt. A lot of his offensive linemen were hurt, and things just did not go our way. But I still have all the confidence in the world in him. Hopefully, he will be able to go by training camp, and yes, I think we will all expect him to be the starter in 2024. However, Mara did also said that he would be willing to support a move up the board if the front office felt strongly enough about making it. If they fall in love with a quarterback and believe that it's worth pick number 6 or moving up, I certainly support that, Mara said at the time pre-ESPN. It remains to be seen how the top few picks will play out, but the Giants are clearly in the market for a passer, even while they have a ton of other needs to fill. If or how they're able to do that is more of a pressing question. So, well, we will have to wait and see. I mean, it's kind of, that's kind of understandable too. How because obviously Mr. Mara, he likes Daniel Jones and he thinks a lot of him. And, you also, you think, you start thinking about like maybe, maybe like a Phil Simms or somebody like that. Phil Simms was a decent quarterback, or a phenomenal quarterback, but we built a great team around him, right? Remember, he had 3 greatness around him, and 2 of them, possibly, however you want to look at it, when Phil Simms was with the Giants in the 80s and up to 90 when they won the other, up to 93, he played. But, when he won the 2 Super Bowls, right, because the Giants started off 10-0 in 1990. Phil Simms was the quarterback. He got injured a couple games later against the Bills, and he was out for the rest of the season. But, Phil Simms was there, obviously in 86. We won the Super Bowl with him and all. But I said, let's not forget the trifecta he had. And you can argue one way or the other. I mean, there's no, to me, there's no argument. Boom. We'll go this way. One of them was the greatest of all time. These are the 3 that Phil Simms had. Okay. One of them is the greatest of all time. Another one, arguably the greatest of all time. And another one is just, you can put it top 10, top 15, whatever you want to say, top 20 coach, right? He had Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive player of all time, period. Boom. My opinion. End of story. Now, however you want to argue, Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator, okay? Greatest coach of all time. I mean, top 2, top 3, however you want to look at it, right? So you could argue that Bill Belichick's the greatest coach of all time. And then you got Bill Parcells, top 15, 20 coach of all time, whatever. So Phil Simms, was not super spectacular, but and also, what he was supported with was rather special. There's no Lawrence Taylor on his team. There's no Bill Belichick. There's no Bill Parcells. Okay. But I mean, Daniel Jones is a decent quarterback, but he's got it. There's certain things that he's got. I mean, obviously he's got to stay healthy, right? Certain things I mean, some of the stuff you kind of shake your head and you wonder, staring down the one receiver. I mean, the dude that picked the pass, I can't remember his name, but the dude from Seattle that picked the pass off last year and ran it back for a touchdown. I mean, he even said the same thing. Yeah, we noticed in film he stares down his receiver. It's like, you can't do that. Once again, now, is that something he can work his way out of? Don't know. He doesn't, sometimes he doesn't see all the receivers. Like he'll drop back and he'll maybe zone in on this half of the field or something. Meanwhile, Darius Slayton's running down the end and he was like wide open, but he doesn't turn and look and see him or something. So, I mean, that's not good. But I can also understand where Mr. Maras could be a little, skeptical as far as, obviously Shane and all just signed Daniel Jones to this nice size deal. We're paying him all this money and you're telling me we're getting rid of him? I mean, also some of it is also, you can look at it too, is it's also kind of like, who else was there out there for the Giants to get? Who are they going to get? Really? So, I mean, they did what they thought at the time was best, for the franchise, for Daniel Jones and all that and everything. So they signed him to a contract. But, as I said, you also notice the Giants can get out after 2 seasons, right? So you can say, Daniel Jones, $40 million, 4 years. What are you, stupid? But they can get out after 2 seasons. Okay, let's not push the panic button just yet. Okay, but as I said, I can understand with Mr. America's he like. I mean, as I said, you draft somebody in the first round. He's a great person, great human being. He's great with the press. He's great for New York. Right? Oh, he's all you hear. He's the first one in. He's the last one out. Sometimes you hear like he's trying to rehab his injury and stuff like that. And Joe Shane, sometimes you hear him. Sometimes we got to reel the guy back. Like, Daniel, take it easy. You know what I mean? You hear stuff like that. And when you finally get somebody, a quarterback, somebody maybe, I don't want to say maybe the face of the franchise because. I don't know about that. Saquon is face of the franchise. But when you draft a quarterback like that who's really good, smart, intelligent, very good with the media, and that's not easy. And he takes a lot of passion. He's always been very good with the media. As I said, he works very hard. Right, always the first one in, last one out. Always. I say, well, Mr. America, Right, and once again, even Mr. Mara said the same thing. We've done basically pretty much everything we possibly can to screw this guy up ever since he's been here, and that's true. That's true. We've never given him a phenomenal offense. We never give him a number one wide receiver. We never give him Pat Shermer was here for one season. They got maybe I don't know. If you take the turnovers, put them aside because he had like 300 fumbles, 12 interceptions. If you take that, put it aside for just a second. He had 24 touchdown passes. He only played, I think, 12 games. He played in 13, but he had a cup of coffee in the one game against the Cowboys. The Giants were losing like 942-0. So they put him in for like one drive against the Cowboys. So he said he played in 13 games. So basically, he started in 12 games. In those 12 games, he threw 24 touchdown passes. Unfortunately, that was the last season that Pat Shermer was the Giants coach. So once we got Judge and the Clapper calling plays, that's when his production went down. So, but, so we'll have to wait and see. But then again, once again, we'll find out. I mean, just because the Giants don't draft a quarterback in the first round, certainly doesn't mean they can't draft one in the second round or the third round, right? Or I mean, like maybe Milton might be there in the fourth round or something, right? So we'll have to wait and see. But as I said, I can certainly see where Mara would be a little upset. Then they got this here too, and this is a very good indication of how the drafting has been going. Now this right here, it's a 5-year NFL draft analysis, basically going over the last 5 years drafts. So you got 23, 22, 21, 20, and 19. So the last 5 years worth of drafts, okay, which works out well for the Giants because, that we got Sexy Dexy in there and Andrew Thomas. But other than that, the Giants, the drafts are just been a little brutal. So let's see. So it just goes to show you, all right, let's see, the Ravens stay on top. That just goes to show you another reason why year in and year out, the Ravens are, always a playoff contender. Okay. Then we got, says that, but the Giants tumble. The 2024 NFL Draft begins Thursday, and picks will be panned, praised, and picked apart by the countless draft experts out there. But the truth is, we won't know how teams drafted this week until we see how these players' careers play out over the next few seasons, which is true. One thing Shane always talks about is, like by the time the person's third season rolls around, how are they playing? Because basically that's pretty much about their ceiling. Okay. If they're in their third season or so and they're still not doing good, right? Okay. But just because somebody like Andrew Thomas, you take him in the first round, the first season he's struggling, well, that doesn't mean he can't get better. Doesn't mean he will, but it doesn't mean he can't. But turning around Andrew Thomas's third year, He's the man. He is the man. And we're very, very lucky that we picked him. Very happy we picked him. Absolute class act of a guy, hard worker, determined, all this stuff. And I hope the freaking guy's on our team for another 10 years. I just hope the guy can stay healthy, right? Anyway, this is why we do this annual exercise where we look back at the last 5 drafts. I like this. This is very good. This is very, very interesting. For each team to see who is doing the best job in the NFL's annual talent grab. This is our 10th annual examination of the last 5 years of the draft. So basically, last 5 is from 2019 to 2023. And to see how the teams fared. The rankings are based upon how many games the draft pick has played, Pro Bowl appearances, first team All-Pro selections, and awards like an MVP or a Rookie of the Year. We also factored in how much the team has won during the 5 years because players on losing teams tend to have an easier path to playing time. Well, that's true, too. Here are the rankings from best to worst, with last year's rankings in parentheses. The Ravens, are number 1. Last year, the ranking was number 1. So, I mean, the Ravens, whatever the Ravens are doing, whatever they're smoking over there, you might want to roll some of that up too. Fire yourself up a fatty, because whatever they're smoking over there is some good stuff. Let me tell you what, these guys can pick some winners without question, right? It says their best pick was Kyle Hamilton in the 2022 first round. Their worst pick was Rashad Bateman, the 2021 first rounder. The Ravens take the crown for the second straight year in our rankings. I thought they might slide this year because the Lamar Jackson draft class came off the books, the 2018. He got taken to the 32nd pick in the 2018 draft. They traded with the Eagles. They moved up. They took Lamar Jackson, and the Eagles went back a few spots and picked up some draft capital. But GM Eric DeCosta continues to draft extremely well. Patrick Queen, Justin Matabuike, Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum, all look like star players, and Zay Flowers showed a lot of potential as a rookie last year. The Cowboys are number 2. This is one of the things that the Cowboys do. The Cowboys, don't, is what they did this season. It's kind of this season's almost kind of laughable. But like what I hear a lot is that the Cowboys don't necessarily go out in free agency and just bring it like what the Eagles did. The Eagles brought in 552 trillion new guys. Howie Roseman's out there bringing in all these star players and everything like that, paying Saquon Barkley $13, $14, $15, $17 trillion a season. Making woo, look at us, woo. But basically Saquon only counts like $3 million on each of this year's salary cap. It's like, how are they paying the guy $13 million a season, but he's only counting $3 million this year salary cap, $3 million next year? How is that? What's going on here? How is that possible? And he brings in all of these star-studded players. Brings in this guy for $800 trillion a year, this guy for $35 trillion a year, this guy for $85 billion a year. It's like, and they only count like about $5 toward the salary cap. It's like, how is that? Well, it's because you look, he has all these void years. Saquon, I don't know, he has I know DeVonta Smith has like 4 void years, where like he'll be off the team, or that contract will be off or his contract will be over, but there's 4 void years that he'll have to get paid. You know what I mean? So that's how Howie Roseman and all, he just basically pushes a bunch of money down the road. That's all he does. That's why he brings in all these great. That's why all the Eagles, look at us, we're so great. Now you guys are freaking morons, and so is Howie Roseman. But I'm saying, but that's what the Cowboys don't go out and do that. They might make a trade or something like that, but they don't go out necessarily and bring in 300 trillion new free agents. Right? We're gonna pay this free agent. We're gonna bring this guy in, pay him $20 million a year. This guy $25 million a year. This guy $30 million a year. We're gonna this. They draft good. They develop their guys. They keep their guys. They pay their guys, and they move forward. Right. So that's why every year they're like 12-5 or whatever. Great records. They get smoked in the first round of the playoffs. Love it. But they don't do it on special because they do a very good job at drafting. If you start looking at their drafts, they do a very good job at drafting. They keep their guys, but unfortunately, you draft well and you keep those guys, it's going to cost you some money, right? As the conundrum they are in, or will be in soon, where Micah Parsons is going to want about $80 trillion a year, ABC Lamb's going to want about $80 trillion a year, and I think Dak Prescott wants about $60 million a year. So between those three guys, there's basically half their salary cap, right? But that's what's going to happen. That's what happens when you draft well. Well, I mean, there's no denying they do a very good job at drafting. They do. They do a good job at drafting. You got to give them kudos, right? I mean, you hate Jerry Jones, hate the Cowboy. They do a very good job at drafting, right? And it points out right here. What were they at? Last year they were number 4. So this year they got the number 2. They got better. Their best pick was Micah Parsons, and then Tristan Hill was their second round pick in 2019. So, but I mean, obviously, Parsons, ABCD Lamb, Trevon Diggs, Tony Pollard, Tyler Biadasz, Tyler Smith, Deron Bland. I mean, that's some good picks. But the problem is, with all these good picks, obviously, and what's Diggs, he wants some money, right? Right? But you look, you also, what do these teams all have in common? Here, number 3, the 49ers. What do they have in common? Success. The Ravens, number 1. What do they have in common? Success. The Cowboys, what do they have in common? Success. The Lions, they were number 8 last year. They're number 4 this year. What do they have now? Well, not so much success in the past, but they're building. They're building a very, very, very good team, and they're doing a lot of it through the draft. This year, they're number 4 overall. So over the past 5 drafts, the Detroit Lions are the number 4 best team, right? Who's number 5? Somehow, I don't know how on earth, once again, the Jets are number 5. Now, to be fair, the Jets have a fantastic defense. Fantastic defense, right? Their problem was that, what was it, like half a second into the game, the first game of the season, Aaron Rodgers gets injured and his season's over. So basically, so was the Jets season. But the Jets have built a very good defense. If they can ever get Aaron Rodgers to stay healthy, right? I mean, with the offensive, they got some weapons there. They're picking early this year. They can draft it. They can get another stud on defense, or they can get a good wide receiver to help, or another good offensive lineman to help block for Rodgers. The Jets do a couple good draft picks, a good first and second round, and really add to maybe the offense or something like that. And they can keep Aaron Rodgers up. Look for the Jets to do some damage this season without question, right? But the Jets are number 5. Hard to believe, because as much as they've sucked, they're number 5. Let's see, here's number 6. Well, so somehow Tampa Bay, then the Raiders are up to number 7. The Eagles are number 8. All right, but then when you go down here, you look at the Giants. The Giants are number, let's see here. The Giants are number 19. They were 24th, so they've gotten better. Okay. But in the past 5 drafts, they've only had 2 Pro Bowlers, right? They've had Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas, right? Looking at what the Giants did in the first round of the 2019 draft, is a perfect illustration of how hard drafting is. The Giants had 3 picks. They took Daniel Jones, Sexy Dexy, and DeAndre Baker. Lawrence has proven that he is a keeper. Jones has been up and down and elicits many different opinions. Baker has not played a snap since 2021 in the NFL, all taken in the round 1 of the draft. So, I mean, but the Giants were number 24. So they have gotten better. But so we'll have to wait and see. But it's once again, it's not easy. But the Giants are once again in a prime position to really help or elevate, or whatever you want to call it, their draft status, shall we say, going forward. If they can hit one out of the park here in this pick 6. if they can hit one out of the park, that obviously help their draft status for next season. But as you see, it's not a very, it's tough, especially. And then again, it's kind of difficult because you're talking about, the Giants. There was another GM in there drafting some of those players, especially in that. In the drafting some of those picks. So DeAndre Baker wasn't taken by Shane. Daniel Jones wasn't taken by Shane. So the Giants, Giants have Giants got their work cut out for them. All right. Then I did this. I don't know if I did it. I'm sure if I did it last year. That I don't know. I'm not sure. But what I did do in the past. Now this is my third season. However, this is my third season, but however, this is my fourth because I started in March 2021 doing this channel. So April of 2021 was my first draft. April 2022, April 2023, April 2024. So this is my fourth draft, okay, that I have my channel alive and going and all that. Now I know in the past that, especially early on, maybe my first year or whatever, so maybe my second season. I know I did some videos talking about the Giants maybe best and their worst draft classes. I think I did maybe the 5 best draft classes for the Giants. And I'm sure I did a video or two or so of the 5 worst Giants draft classes. So instead of pouring salt on all the wounds or whatever, I just cut to the chase here. And this is for me the number one. By far, absolute worst draft class in New York Giants history is the 1967. Now, of course, anybody watching this, probably a lot of you guys weren't even there, weren't even alive. Actually, I was only 3 at the time, but the 1967, they drafted 12 players. It was a 17-round draft, but they 5 of their picks they traded away. Now, to be fair, they didn't have a first, a second, or a third-round pick. The third-round pick, they traded away, but they got a guy from the Browns who only played 1 season for the Giants. So basically, it was like a Darren Waller kind of thing. Giants traded because the Giants in 1966 had a horrible defense, whatever. So they wanted to upgrade their defense. So they traded, and they got a defensive lineman for the Browns, and they traded away their 1967 third-round pick to get this guy. So he only lasted 1 season for the Giants, and then he was gone. This guy only played 4 seasons in the NFL. One of 1966 with the Giants, and that was it. It's kind of like might be like a Darren Waller kind of thing. And we traded a third-round pick to get Darren Waller, and he might only play 1 season for the Giants. But so the Giants didn't have a third-round pick in 1967. They didn't have what the heck was it? A 6th and a 7th-round pick because they get a couple other guys. None of them were any good. But their first and second-round pick, now to be fair, they did trade to the Minnesota Vikings, and they did get Fran Tarkenton. So, Fran Tarkenton, obviously a Hall of Fame quarterback. He took the Vikings to 3 Super Bowls. Of course, in all 3 of those Super Bowls, they got absolutely smoked. Absolutely smoked. When he was with the Giants, we had 1 winning season. I know we had 1 season that we were 7-7. I think 67 we were 7-7. And last season with the Giants, we were 4-10 and 71. So, I mean, obviously a very good quarterback, fantastic quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback. He could take your team to a Super Bowl. And just with the Giants, he was not surrounded with talent. With the Vikings, he was. Their defense was phenomenal. The Giants' defense was never phenomenal, not even close when Fran Tarkenton was here. So we traded away our first and second round picks in 1967 to get Fran Tarkenton. All right, so, but in that, there was 17 rounds in the draft. And so the Giants in 1967, just to go to show you how bad this draft class was, number 1 worst draft class of all time for Giants history. They had those 12 guys, only 2 of them actually had NFL careers. The other 10 guys never even made it in the NFL. And I'll read you the names here. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Lewis Thompson, their 4th round selection, never made it in the NFL. Then these next bunch of guys: Fred Freeman, Dick Stebbins, Pete Pfeiffer, Bob Shortle, Tom Stidham, Bill Bates, Tom Real, and Bill Seaman and Gary Rowe. Those 10 guys, and with the Lewis Thompson, those 10 guys they drafted never made nothing. Didn't play a game, nothing. Had no NFL career. The Giants only drafted 2 guys, okay, with Dave Lewis and Scott Eaton, who actually had NFL careers. Their 5th round pick, Dave Lewis, they drafted him. He was a quarterback. They drafted him from Stanford. All right. He never even played for the Giants. They drafted him in the 67 draft. He played 4 seasons for the Bengals. And he didn't start until 1970. And actually, he wound up being their punter. And actually, he was a very good punter. And he was an all-pro or pro bowler. I mean, he had 1970, he averaged over 46 yards a punt. 46.2. 1971, he was 44.8. He was a first team all-pro in 1970. 46.2 yards per punt he averaged in 1970. He played 4 seasons for the Bengals. He was a quarterback and a punter. I don't know how much he threw the ball in 1970. Did he? I don't even know. Okay, 1970, he threw 4 pass attempts. He completed 3 of them. So, but he only played 4 seasons in the NFL. So the Giants one of the draft picks never even played for him. Played 4 seasons for the Bengals, and then his career was over. After 1973, his career was over. Played from 70 to 73, and that was it. The only guy out of 12 guys that the Giants drafted in the 1967 NFL draft was Scott Eaton, who played 5 seasons for the Giants. He played from 1967 to 1971. His career was over. That was it. The only thing I can basically say about Scott Eaton was if you ever get a Trivial Pursuit question, who was the first Giant in NFL? Who was the first Giant to recover a fumble in a Monday Night Football game? It was Scott Eaton of the New York Giants against the Philadelphia Eagles. Fortunately, we lost that one, but 23-20 in Franklin Field. But 1970, he was the first one to recover a fumble for the Giants in a Monday Night Football game. But he played 5 seasons for the Giants from 67 to 71, and that was it. So the 1967 NFL draft class for the New York Football Giants was the worst ever. We drafted 12 guys. Only 2 of the 12 had playing careers, and only 1 of the 12 actually played for the New York Giants. Out of 12 guys drafted, 1 guy had a 5-year career. That was it. Absolutely. That just got another one of the huge reasons why the Giants back in those days, we had the wilderness years from 64 to 80, had 2 winning seasons, didn't make the playoffs at all, was because really some pretty bad drafting. Okay. But not only that, but trading away picks. A lot of it was, as Wellington Mara had said before, you see some old YouTube clips of him talking. And, the Giants were looking for the quick fix. Instead of building through the draft and developing your players, right, we went for the quick fix. We did it a few times. We traded away like 300 picks to get Fran Tarkenton, right? Then, of course, we traded away some good draft capital. The number 1 overall pick, or let me see here. Figure this out here. Trying to think, maybe it was the number 2 overall pick in 1975. Well, let's see if this pops up here. Okay. Yeah, the number 2 overall pick. We got Craig Morton, who was a very good quarterback, except the problem was the team around him stunk, especially the offense around him was not very good. He was a statue of a quarterback, and a lot of the blocking was just absolutely horrible. A lot of times he got killed. But we traded away the number 1, our first round selection in the 1975 draft. We got him like almost halfway through the season, 1974. All right, because the offense was just floundering. But we traded away our number one first round pick in 1975, which is because the Giants in 1974 were 2-12. So of course, with a 2-12 record, we had the number 2 overall pick in the 1975 draft. And once again, the Cowboys doing a very good job at drafting back in 1975. Of course, Jerry Jones was not there, but they drafted Randy White, a Hall of Fame defensive lineman, one of the a fantastic defensive lineman. And so that's who the Giants traded away. The Giants traded away the second overall pick. Now, I'm not saying if the Giants had that pick, they would have drafted Randy White. They might have drafted the way they were drafting back then. They might have drafted some loser, but who knows? But the Giants traded away the number 2 overall pick in the 1975 draft, basically for a quarterback that only played like 2.5 seasons for the Giants. He played 75, he played 76, and he played about like half of 74. So 2.5 seasons, we traded away the number 2 overall pick in the 1975 draft. So that's what the Giants did that a lot. They did a lot of that. Let's trade away a bunch of draft picks, for the quick fix. And as the Giants saw quite a bit, that did not turn out. Did not turn out very well. Giants back then had a lot of bad draft picks, and they just traded away a lot of picks as well too. I mean, they were like tossing, they were like trading away their first round picks just like they were candy. Here, you get a first round pick, and you get a first round pick, and you get 2 first round. Yeah. So that's what they had to do. They traded away 2 first round picks to get Frank Tarkenton. Once again, Craig Morton, 1970, he was with the Giants from 74 to 76. The very next year in 77, he went to the Denver Broncos. And because the Denver Broncos had a decent team, what did the Denver Broncos do? Went to the Super Bowl. They got smoked in the Super Bowl by the Cowboys, but he was good enough to take a good team, the Orange Crush, right? And a very good offense, right? He was good. They had a good team to a Super Bowl. He was with the Giants. The Giants did not have a good team. The defense wasn't bad, but their offense was absolutely pathetic. Their offensive line was absolutely atrocious. But once again, we drafted draft picks to get Frank Tarkenton. He was good enough to take the Minnesota Vikings to 3 Super Bowls, 73, 74, and 76. And it should have been 75 if it wasn't for that Hail Mary that the Cowboys lucked out on. But anyway, it's another story for another day. But, we traded away for good quarterbacks, but, you need a team around them. I mean, you can trade away draft picks and get Jesus Christ back there. But if you don't have a team around Jesus Christ, guess what? You're going to lose. So that's what happened to the Giants. So the worst draft class in New York football Giants history, the 1967 draft class, to me, by far. All right. Then we got one more here. And I'm going to go over the big board here, the inside linebackers. Now, for the Giants, if they see somebody, I mean, like later rounds, like somebody like maybe the 5th or 6th round, somewhere around there, if they see like an offensive lineman, and Priscilla's like, dude, this guy, I seen the tape on this guy, this guard here from whatever, Baylor. I don't know. You know what I mean? This guy can play both guards and center. And I think I can get a lot out of him. I think I can develop this guy in give me like maybe 2 years or so, 2, maybe 3 at the most. This guy would be a good player for us. Yeah, go for it. You know what I mean? If the Giants in the 5th or 6th round want to double dip with the wide receiver, go for it. If the Giants in the 5th, 6th round or something grab a running back, cool, absolutely. But same thing with like an inside, or want to add some, if they think there's a good value at an edge rusher in the later rounds, absolutely. You can't have too many edge rushers, right? I'm saying, but the inside linebacker position, we don't need that at number 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd. That's not happening, right? But if they think they see somebody, okay, round, I'm going to say 4, 5, or 6. They think there's somebody there that can give some contributions. Maybe. The one thing is, because kind of got a little bit of the wild card here, which you're not exactly sure with Darian Beavers. You're not sure what you're going to get with him. All right, because last season, he struggled to get on the field because I think he coming back from his injury. I think he kind of was like a little step or so behind, right? He wasn't quite up to speed because he for all indications anyway, in his first season when he first got drafted, in the preseason, because he didn't make it to the regular season, in the preseason he was doing pretty good. He has got a nice size to him, height, size, and everything. He flies around. Of course, sadly, unfortunately, he got injured. But I think last season, coming back from his injury, I think he was maybe a little step off or so. But let's keep an eye on him in the preseason and maybe training camp and all. Let's keep our ears open and everything about Darrian Beavers. See how he is. So he might hit the field. He might get some playing time. And you don't want anybody getting injured. I don't want anybody on any team, even the Eagles, even the Cowboys. I want my best playing your best. And if we win, we beat your best. Our best, I don't want to we won because we were playing your 37th string quarterback. I hate that. But if somebody, McFadden gets a little nicked up or Carrick, whatever, something like that, and let's see what Beavers can do. Right? Let's see what he can do. But I'm saying, if the Giants see somebody, it might be a real good value, somebody that sticks out, kind of like a sore thumb, like what Shane said about Hyatt. Right? You can never have too many good players. And especially if you get one of these guys, because I'll tell you what, you start seeing the size of some of these inside linebackers, it's like, these guys are light. I'm used to the Harry Carsons and whatever. Brian Kelly's, the guys, whatever, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", whatever, 250. These guys are a lot lighter. But I'm saying, some of these guys that maybe present a good value, but also maybe might be good on special teams. So they, instead of them just standing on the sideline for 60 minutes, right, because they can't get in because you got McFadden or a Carrick in there or whatever, if they present a good opportunity, a good special teams player, that might make them very valuable in the draft, especially maybe a 5th or 6th round pick, right? So. But here on the big board here, once again, going by PFF, they only got a few guys. They got like 4 guys, inside linebackers, okay, or linebackers as they put it, who qualify, right, in the top 100. 4 guys. That's not a lot, okay. They got Peyton Wilson from North Carolina State. He's their 30th ranked overall player, okay. He's 6'4", nice size. He's almost 240. That's a nice size, real nice size. But the Giants aren't going there. Edgerrin Cooper from Texas A&M. He's their 59th ranked player. 6'3", 230. Right, so you got a lot of light guys here. Junior Colson from Michigan. He's 21 years old. He's 6'3", but he's 247. He's somebody in the middle there. Can be a banger. Add a little bit of weight on him. He'll be 250. That's nice. Very, very nice. Then of course, there's Jeremiah Trotter Jr. He's only 6 foot tall, 230. All right, now, of course, you listen to his father talking. If the Cowboys were to draft Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jeremiah Trotter Sr., I guess, won't wear his jersey. I'm not wearing a Cowboy jersey. I can appreciate that. Much respect to that. I can understand that. Of course, wish everybody thought that way, like Saquon or something like that. Not going to a rival. But anyway, but so I don't know if the Giants were to draft Trotter, if Jeremiah Trotter Sr. would wear a Giants jersey. Now, I know back in the day when Trotter was, obviously the number one hate was the Cowboys. But I'm sure the Giants were up there as well, too. So that you don't know. But PFF has, all right, he's their 4th ranked linebacker. They got him at number 96 overall, the 96th best player on the PFF board, right, from Clemson. So that he would wind up being like possibly a late 3rd round pick if you're going in that order, like pick not 96. So that would be, maybe he sneaks to the 4th round. I don't know if the Giants would want to go there with a 4th round selection, especially when we're talking maybe interior, Linebackers, I'm not sure if the Giants would want to go there in the 4th round. I'm kind of thinking maybe more 5th or 6th round if at all. But I said, but if according to PFF, from players on their board, okay, players 100 to about 200, they got I think like 10 guys, 10 linebackers. They got Eichenberg from Ohio State. They got McGee from Temple. Liafu, I believe it is, from Notre Dame. Maris Liafu from Notre Dame. They got Gray from North Carolina. Trevin Wallace from Kentucky. Bertrand from Notre Dame. Chambers from Ohio State. Muasu. Oh my goodness. They got Luafu and Muasu from UCLA. There's Hopper from Missouri, and then there's Michael Barrett from Michigan. So basically, according to PFF, right, we're looking at like rounds 4 through 6 around there. They got like about 10 guys on their board. So basically, you're looking at quite possibly maybe 3 guys, maybe 4 guys each round. Could be like a linebacker. So that might be where the Giants might wind up going, if they were going to. Once again, I have no idea. The one thing is, because you don't know, do you want to draft a maybe an interior linebacker, and you're not sure because you don't know what you got with Beavers. You just don't know, because it's not like you see him in the weight room and all, but you're not seeing a guy flying around on the field, so you don't really know exactly what you got. So if you got a Carrick, if you got McFadden, if you got Beavers, right? Do you want to go and grab another guy who you drafting in the 5th round or 6th round, and he may not see time? Yeah, maybe. I mean, especially I said if he can give you something on special teams, quite possibly. But I said I would be surprised if the Giants in the first, I'd have to say first 4 rounds, they want to draft like an interior, like an inside linebacker. So maybe 5th or 6th. I said maybe an offensive lineman in the 5th or 6th. I said maybe a running back, tight end. If they want to double dip with wide receiver, go for it. An interior linebacker in the 5th or 6th round. An edge rusher. You can never have too many edge rushers. Maybe somebody a safety. Or somebody in the secondary has some quality, once again, somebody maybe doesn't hit the field, but maybe somebody who's good in special teams, and somebody in the secondary. You draft a running back. There's a lot of ways they can go in the 5th and 6th round, of a draft. But I certainly would think that whoever they do want to draft, and if it's not an offensive lineman, it would be somebody that can contribute on some special teams. But I said there's a lot of places that they can go. But as far as interior linebackers, 4th, 5th, and 6th round, there are according to PFF, right? There are quite a few guys that the Giants could certainly draft, without question, right? But I said, but in the first few rounds, the Giants, obviously, we know they got some holes to fill. Yeah, I mean, maybe a cornerback. What are they going to? Are they happy with their safeties? They want to go safety in the first 4 rounds. Somebody next to Sexy Dexy. You can never draft too many edge rushers, right? We need a wide receiver. We need I would think a quarterback, right? If Waller's still up in the air, hey, maybe a tight end. You don't have to draft a running back in the 1st or 2nd round. You can draft one of those in the 3rd or 4th round or so. But in the first few rounds, we got some other holes that we need to fill, and I don't think an interior linebacker would be the way to go. So there's one more. What do I got left? Edge rushers, right? I did the cornerbacks. I did the safeties. I did the edge rushers tomorrow night. So that'll be my last preview will be the edge rushers. And then after that, the draft is on, baby. Whew. Gotta love it. 2 more days. Actually, it's almost midnight. So got almost like one more day. Whew, man. Sounds great. All right. Whoever spent any time listening live, thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much. On the bottom of my heart, means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.